They say the human brain begins to die after just 5 minutes without oxygen. It is a biological deadline, but in 2012, a man named Chris Lemons spent 38 minutes at the bottom of the North Sea without an air, no heat and no light. Science said he should be dead. His crew expected to recover a corpse, but today we are going beyond the frame to see how he came back from the afterlife. Chris was a saturation diver. This means he lived in pressurized tank, a metal tank, or for weeks just to walk 300 feet below the ocean. On September 18, he was repairing an oil pipe. He was connected to his ship, the Bibli, to Paris by an umbilical cord, his only lifeline for air and warmth. Suddenly, a computer failure on the ship caused it to drift in a massive wave. This ship began to drag Chris along the jagged seafloor. His cord snagged on a metal structure. He had a sound like a gunshot. Snap! The cord was gone. He was alone in total darkness. Imagine the silent -2 degrees Celsius, total blackness. Chris reached for his emergency tank, but it had only about 6 to 9 minutes of air. He knew the rescue team was at least 38 minutes away. He did not panic. He climbed onto a metal structure so they could find his body easily. He said a quiet goodbye to his fiancée, Morag, and then his lungs pulled in the last bit of air. His tank was empty. He fell unconscious into the deep. 38 minutes later, a rescue diver finally reached Chris. Chris was blue. He wasn't breathing. They dragged him into the diving bell and took off his helmet, and his friend Duncan gave him two breaths of mouth to mouth, not because he thought it would work, but because he couldn't just give up. Suddenly, Chris gasped. He woke up. Not only was he alive, but he had 0 brain damage. He didn't just survive. He walked out of that chamber a week later and went back to diving 3 weeks after that. However, doctors believe that freezing water put his brain into a power save mode, while his blood was already saturated with high pressure oxygen. The lesson for us today is this: when you feel like your lifeline has been cut, whether in your job, your studies, or your life, remember Chris Lemon. You have hidden reserve of your strength you haven't even touched yet. Don't stop breathing. I am Buso, and this is Beyond the Frame. Hit that subscribe button for more stories that defy the impossible. I will see you in the next frame.